All right, folks, let's have a little discussion about knowing your why. Now, 2020 has been one hell of a year and it's far from over. All right, so we're going to have more challenges and more decisions to make in our future. But the reason why knowing your why is important is because when you know why you're doing something, the how is easy. All right, when you know your why, that knowledge gives you clarity. You know what you need to do, you know why you need to do it, and you'll start to see how you need to do it. The how will just present itself to you. And the other huge benefit of knowing your why is that it also exposes your blind spots, because now your why becomes your objective. It is your main effort. You know that, hey, I need to protect this at all costs. And so from that point on, blind spots and vulnerabilities will start to appear. You start to see those. You start to notice those things. You'll start to notice your own deficiencies, your own shortcomings. All right. And so this is why knowing your why is critical. It is the beginning of you developing the proper mindset that it takes to survive as the world changes and evolves. All right. Now, the other part of it is that when you know your why, that organic creativity that you're going to develop, because now you know what you need to do. And now your mind starts to race and starts to identify the different ways, the different angles that you can accomplish that. As the old saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So if you look at your life and look at necessities and things that you need and things that you do every day, look at staples in your life and start to say, hey, how can I still achieve those objectives? How can I still utilize and still have these staples in my life if my primary means of obtaining them is no longer there or becomes compromised? And you'll start to see some interesting things appear in your mind's eye. All right, so that's important. Now, the other part of knowing your why is that people who know their why, they don't need convincing to do anything. If you know why you're taking a firearm safety course, if you have a reason why in your brain, it's not doing it because someone told you to, you're not doing it because you were just curious and was bored today, all right? But if you take a safety course and decide to get your firearm license and decide to train, and you say the reason why I'm doing this because one day I may need to protect my life or my children and my family, my wife depends on me to be able to deal with whatever challenges we may confront in the future, you don't need any convincing. You'll get your firearms license. You'll buy your first little pistol. You'll train with it. And then you'll start to say, hey, what if this? And what if that? And the next thing you know, you're going to start to fill in those voids. You're going to start to cover those blind spots and do what you need to do in order to ensure that your objective is protected, that is covered. All right? And people who know their why, they no longer need convincing. And they are their own hardest critics when it comes to meeting those deadlines. If you say, hey, I need to have this done no later than, and you name the date for whatever the task may be, no one has to encourage you. No one has to remind you and say, hey, did you ever get around to doing X, Y, and Z yet? Nope. Because you know that, hey, if I don't do this, my objective is ass in the wind. My primary mission is no longer safe. And so you'll take care of that. All right, so KILO25 is not about convincing you to get your firearms license. Reality will do that for you. The world will do that for you. Life will do that for you. But when you get to the point where you're ready to do that, we can help. And I think that covers everything for now. I just had to get that off my chest. The idea popped in my head, and I said, hey, you know what? Why don't we have a little discussion about this? But that reminds me, KILO25.com is live now. And we're going to have a lot more discussions like this on KILO25.com. Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms, the censorship that takes place there, you can't express your true thoughts and opinions on those platforms. It's someone else's platform. And if you're not in line with their agenda, if you're not in line with their primary objective, they will remove you. It's funny how they have their whys. They know exactly why they're in existence. And so if you come in line and you want to do your little spiel and it's not in line with their agenda, you will get dealt with. And we as individuals and as families and as communities, we have to do the same thing. We need to be able to understand that when someone or something presents itself, we can quickly evaluate that because we know our why. And we can say, hey, is this person, place, or thing, or whatever it is this an asset to my mission? Will it advance my agenda? Will it protect my primary mission? Or is this a threat or a liability? Same process. The principle remains the same. And that's why I say mindset first and everything else will follow. When you have the proper mindset and you know why you're doing something, you will take all the necessary steps. And you'll be surprised how many different ways you can achieve your objectives. All right, so folks, head on over to KILO25.com. We're going to have a lot more content. It's going to get really interesting. We're going to have a lot to talk about with you guys. So we're going to talk about everything from equipment to gear to different strategies and how to deal with our new world that we're living in. So head on over and we have a lot more coming for you guys. So till then, stay safe, figure out your why, write it down if you need to, stick it on your mirror in the bathroom, read it every morning so that when you walk out that door, no matter what comes your way, you can immediately evaluate it. And you can immediately either take it up or chuck it out the window. All right? So stay safe, train, and be prepared. Talk to you later, folks.